Friedrich Nietzsche was born in 1844 in Rocken, near Leipzig, Germany. His father, a Lutheran pastor, died when Nietzsche was 5, deeply affecting him. Known as a serious and thoughtful child, he began questioning the world early on. Nietzsche was an exceptional student, attending Schulpforta boarding school and later the University of Leipzig. He focused on philology, the study of texts, and quickly gained recognition for his brilliance. At 24, he became one of the youngest tenured professors at the University of Basel in Switzerland. During this time, he formed a close friendship with composer Richard Wagner. Nietzsche's early work focused on ancient Greek culture, exploring its art and values. However, his health began to decline, plagued by severe migraines and poor eyesight. In 1879, he resigned his professorship due to his failing health, marking a turning point. He began a life of wandering, seeking relief and shifting from philology to philosophy. Nietzsche started developing his own radical ideas, ready to challenge everything. One of Nietzsche's most famous ideas is God is dead, meaning belief in God was declining in Western society. This led to a loss of traditional morality's foundation, forcing humanity to find new sources for values. Nietzsche introduced the will to power, a fundamental life force driving growth and self-overcoming. It is a creative energy that drives human action and achievement. Another profound concept is the eternal recurrence, imagining life repeating endlessly. Nietzsche asked us to live in a way that we would willingly choose this eternal repetition. This idea calls for an ultimate affirmation of life, loving your fate, or amor fati. From these ideas emerges the Übermensch or Overman, a goal for humanity. The Übermensch creates their own values and lives beyond conventional notions of good and evil. This person embraces life in its entirety, including both suffering and joy. It is a spiritual and psychological evolution, not about a master race. Nietzsche's first major book, The Birth of Tragedy, was published in 1872. It discussed ancient Greek culture and introduced the Apollonian and Dionysian forces. The Apollonian represents order and reason, while the Dionysian represents chaos and passion. Nietzsche argued Greek tragedy arose from their interplay. His most famous work, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, written between 1883 and 1885, has a unique poetic style. The character Zarathustra announces the death of God and teaches about the Übermensch and eternal recurrence. In Beyond Good and Evil, published in 1886, Nietzsche attacked traditional Western morality. He introduced the idea of master morality versus slave morality and called for new philosophers to create new values. On the Genealogy of Morality, published in 1887, delves deeper into the origins of moral values. Nietzsche provides a historical account showing how terms like good and bad changed meaning. He argues that slave morality arose from the resentment of the weak, inverting the values of the strong nobles. Nietzsche's friendship with Richard Wagner was significant, sharing many artistic and philosophical interests. However, their relationship soured as Nietzsche criticized Wagner's nationalism and returned to Christian themes. Apart from a few friendships, Nietzsche lived a solitary life, plagued by severe health problems. His poor health forced him to wander, searching for climates that might offer relief. In January 1889, Nietzsche suffered a complete mental collapse in Turin, Italy. The famous story tells of him embracing a horse being flogged by its coachman. Nietzsche then collapsed, never to recover his sanity, sending bizarre letters known as the Madness Letters. The exact cause of his mental breakdown is still debated, with theories ranging from syphilis to a brain tumor. For the final 11 years of his life, Nietzsche was incapacitated, first cared for by his mother and then his sister. Elizabeth Forster Nietzsche manipulated his writings, sometimes distorting his ideas to fit her own views. Nietzsche remained in a state of mental darkness until his death in Weimar in August 1900. Friedrich Nietzsche's influence on modern thought is immense. Existentialist philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus drew on his ideas. Postmodern philosophers such as Michel Foucault also engaged with his work. His influence extends beyond philosophy to literature, psychology, and art. Nietzsche challenged the very foundations of our thinking. He forces us to confront difficult questions about the meaning of life. Nietzsche emphasizes individual responsibility for creating meaning. His philosophy provokes us to think for ourselves. It is important to note that Nietzsche's work has been misinterpreted. They selectively used concepts like the will to power. Nietzsche's sister Elizabeth played a role in this. Therefore, it is crucial to read Nietzsche carefully. In conclusion, Friedrich Nietzsche remains a vital philosopher. He encourages us to embrace our freedom and create our own meaning. His philosophy is ultimately a call to courage. Though silenced prematurely, Nietzsche's voice still echoes powerfully.